And a good Monday evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ron Butler, welcoming you to another edition of Heat Zone Live. The Miami Heat are back in town as they host the #1 overall pick, Cooper Flagg, and the Dallas Mavericks, in what should be a fun, high-scoring affair. But on the subject of high scoring, a well-known high scorer for the Heat, Tyler Herro, is back and ready to make his NBA debut this season. Tyler Herro had ankle surgery, but now he's back and he's inserted into the starting lineup for tonight's game. And I have my three keys, my three keys for tonight's game. Key number 1, establish dominance in the paint. Just like we saw in the last few games between the Bulls and the Sixers, Miami has found a way to establish dominance in the paint, thanks to the 1-2 punch combination of bigs with Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware. I love that Miami has increased not only their defense, but also have improved in their offensive rebounding. So against guys like Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford, they will need to continue to establish that dominance inside the paint. Key number 2, stifle Cooper Flagg. Yes, I know Cooper Flagg's had a rough campaign so far with his rookie season, but every now and then we've seen flashes of his greatness. So if Miami can find a way to slow down Cooper Flagg, that will be an extra bonus for them. I know Cooper Flagg probably made 12 points a game, 14 points a game, but I know, looking at his Duke University days, he can put up a lot of points if he can, and that's something that the Miami Heat needs to take some consideration into. And the third and final key is to ease Tyler Herro into the starting lineup. I mean, not just into the starting lineup, but the pace and the offense. So far, this Heat team has thrived on the pace and the offense, which has been blistering as of late. And you have a guy like Tyler Herro who's a walking bucket. The one thing you need to worry about the most is that how will he fit in this whole scheme of things? Tyler Herro can hit baskets from beyond the arc and can take it to the rim, but the pacing, can he keep up with the pacing? That's the one thing I want to see. That's the one thing we all should see. So right now, the players are getting warmed up. The national anthem is being played, and we should have player introductions very soon, as well as opening tip. So we'll be right back. And we are back. The Miami Heat opening lineup consists of the returning Tyler Hero, Davion Mitchell, Bam Adebayo, Kelly Ware, and Pelle Larsson. That is our starting lineup for the Miami Heat. And we should take a look at the starting lineup for the Dallas Mavericks. And the players are getting situated, dapping each other up, getting themselves ready for tonight's game. Alright, and our starting lineup for the Dallas Mavericks: Daniel Gafford at center, PJ Washington at the 4, Cooper Flag at the 3, Max Christie at the 2 spot, and at the point guard spot, Brandon Williams. So we got ourselves a good one on the way, a fun one I should say. Tyler Hero looking loose, looking spry, looking ready to begin the game. And Miami wins the tip, and we are ready to begin this game. Davion Mitchell has the ball. Gives it to Pelle Larsson, out to Bam. Bam with the spin. Kelly Ware with the rebound. Ball's knocked loose. And that's going to be last touch on the Heat. It'll be Dallas ball. All right, here comes Dallas now. They give it to Cooper Flag. They give it to Max Christie. Sorry. Daniel Gafford now has the ball. Misses it. PJ Washington comes up with the rebound. Misses it. Rebound by Miami. Davion Mitchell kicks it out to Tyler Hero. To Kelly Ware. Out to Bam. Back to Hero again. Davion Mitchell now has the ball. Davion Mitchell driving into the lane. That's a miss. Rebound by Cooper Flag. Here come the Mavericks. Cooper Flag driving into the lane. Loses the ball and is stripped by Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell with spin. Gives it to Tyler Hero. Here comes Hero. Back out to Davion Mitchell. To Pelle Larsson. Back out to Hero. And Tyler Hero misses that basket. Rebound by Max Christie. Here come the Mavericks. So far, no one has scored in this one. That's a basket from PJ Washington? No. We're still tied at 0. Here comes Bam. Gets dragged down by Daniel Gafford, but that's gonna be a foul. Bam will go to the line for 2 free throws. That was a nasty looking foul by Daniel Gafford. Almost pulled Bam down to the floor. Bam misses the first. And Bam misses both free throws. We're still tied at 0. Alright, here comes Dallas now. Dallas loses the ball. Nice recovery by Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell gives it to Pelle Larsson. Larsson drives it in. That's another miss. With all these misses, both teams could be making a brick house. And that's another miss. And here comes Tyler Hero now. Kicks it out to Kelly Ware, but he gets fouled. That foul is on Max Christie. So that will be 2 free throws for Kelly Ware. Max Christie almost broke up that lob from Tyler Hero to Kel'el Ware, but ended up smacking Kel'el Ware on the hand. Kel'el Ware makes the first, and we got our first points on the board. Took a while, but we got there. And Kel'el Ware makes both free throws. And here comes the Mavericks now. They give it a Cooper flag out to Brandon Williams. Here comes Cooper flag. Kicks it out to Williams. That's a three. And the Mavericks now take the lead. Brandon Williams with that three. Tyler Hero kicks it out to Bam. Here comes Bam, driving into the lane. Gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Foul is on PJ Washington Jr. Bam misses yet another free throw. 0 for 3 from the line. And Bam makes that one. So we're all tied up at 3. Here comes Dallas. Brandon Williams with the fake. Kicks it out to Cooper Flag for the 3. And that's a miss. Rebound by Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero gives it to Bam. Out to Pelle Larsson. And goes to Kel'el Superboy Ware. Hold on. Looks like the referees are waving that one off. So offensive basket interference, I guess. I think Miami should have challenged that one. And that's going to be a defensive foul on Miami. That one on Pelle Larsson, as Brandon Williams will go to the line for 2 free throws. Judging from that alley-oop, that couldn't have been a violation of any sorts. That could not have been a violation on Miami. Brandon Williams makes the first. Brandon Williams makes both free throws. So the Mavericks lead 5-3. Here comes Davion Mitchell. To Tyler Hero. Kel'el Ware. To Bam. Loses the ball. Here comes Cooper Flag and the Mavericks. Cooper Flag has it. Gives it to Max Christie. They give it to Brandon Williams. Max Christie now has it. Okay. Loses the ball, and here comes the Miami Heat. They got numbers. Tyler Hero. Corner 3. That's a miss. And here comes the Mavericks again. Cooper Flag being guarded by Bam. Here comes Max Christie. They give it to Daniel Gafford. To PJ Washington. And that's going to be a foul on the Maverick. That's going to be a foul on Miami. Fouls on Davion Mitchell. Mavericks will have it side out. being guarded by Kellel Ware. Gives it to Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg being guarded by Pelle Larsson. And Cooper Flagg knocks it down. The Mavericks lead by 4. And here comes Davion Mitchell. Drives to the lane and gets the basket. Was looking for the foul, but no go. The Heat trail by 2. Here comes Brandon Williams. He drives into the lane, kicks it out to Daniel Gafford. No basket. Here comes Miami. Tyler Hero out to Bam. Bam for 3. That's an air ball. And that will go right back to the Mavericks, and we are going to have a timeout. The Mavericks lead 7-5. And we are back. Score 7-5 Dallas. Miami has won 4 of their last 5 games, and it's all because of the return of Bam Adebayo. Now that he's back along with Tyler Hero, I expect this Miami team to continue to rack up the wins. So far, so good for the Heat in terms of their production. But they need to step it up in this game. All right, here comes Brandon Williams. Stolen away by Pelle Larsson. He's on a fast break. And he gets the layup to tie the game at 7. All right, here come the Mavericks. Brandon Williams gives it to Cooper Flagg. And that's going to be a foul on the Heat. Second one on Pelle Larsson. Pelle Larsson came up with that nice steal and get the game-tying layup. So Pelle Larsson will come out of the game for Miami. Simone Fontecchio is now in the game for Miami. Here comes Cooper Flagg. Ball is knocked loose, and here come the Heat. Tyler Hero in a hurry. Kicks it out to Davion Mitchell for the 3. And that's a rebound for Dallas. Here come the Mavericks. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is also in the game for Miami. You give it to Brandon Williams. That's another pull-up jumper. That's a miss. Rebound by Jaquez. Here comes Miami now. You give it to Davion Mitchell. And an alley-up to Kelly Superboy Ware. And the Heat retake the lead. Here come the Mavericks. Brandon Williams being guarded by Tyler Hero. Out to Brandon Williams. Drives it in. Blocked by Kelly Ware. And here comes Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero with a spot at 3. And that's a miss. Max Christie now has it. Being guarded by Tyler Hero. And who comes up with the steal? But that's going to be a foul. And Tyler Hero came away with that steal. And in the layup, the Kaseya Center would have went nuts. And so would I. But nice alley-oop from Davion Mitchell to Kelly Ware, though. All right, Dallas will have his side out. Cooper Flagg now has it. Cooper Flagg being guarded by Jaime Jaquez. That's a 3 on the way. And that one is knocked down for the Dallas Mavericks. Klay Thompson with that one. And the Mavericks lead by 1. Here goes Davion Mitchell to Simone Fontecchio. Davion Mitchell with a step back. And he knocks it down to give Miami the lead. Here come the Mavericks. D'Angelo Russell being guarded by Davion Mitchell. That's another 3 for Klay Thompson, but that's an air ball. And then we'll go right back to Miami. Keshad Johnson is also in the game for the Miami Heat as Tyler Hero will take a seat. Here comes Davion Mitchell now, being guarded by D'Angelo Russell. You give it to Fontecchio for 3. That's a miss. And that was last touched by the Dallas Mavericks. So it will be Heat ball. Cooper Flagg will also take a seat for the Mavericks. Alright, Miami inbounds the ball. They give it to Kelly Ware for 3. And Kelly Superboy Ware 3 for Miami. The Heat lead by 4. Here comes D'Angelo Russell. That's a 3. And that's a miss. Rebound by Miami. Davion Mitchell brings it up to the floor. To Fontecchio, a 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Keshad Johnson. Fontecchio again. Fontecchio out to Keshad Johnson. And a nice layup, and he gets the and-1. Go ahead, Keshad Johnson, go ahead. Keshad Johnson going for that and-1. Nice heads-up play by Fontecchio to find Keshad Johnson under duress. And that's a missed opportunity for the and-1. Miami are now on a 13-3 run. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez drives it in and gets the layup. It's now a 15-3 run for Miami. And the Mavericks will call timeout. The Heat lead 18-10 in this one. And we are back. Out of the lineup for the Miami Heat are Norman Powell, Nikola Jovic, and Andrew Wiggins. Dallas answers back with that basket from PJ Washington as the Mavs trail by 6. Here goes Fontecchio. Out to Hawkins. To Drew Smith. Kel'el Ware. Being guarded by Daniel Gafford. Here comes Hawkins. Hawkins dancing around. Gives it to Fontecchio. Out to Kel'el Ware for another 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Klay Thompson. Ball was batted away by Miami, but it will remain with Dallas. Alright, Dallas will have its sight. Looks like Daniel Gafford will go to the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first, and the Mavs trail by 5. Kel'el Ware comes out of the game, and Bam will re-enter the game. And Daniel Gafford makes both free throws. The Mavericks trail by 4. Here comes Fontecchio. Kicks it out to Hawkins. To Drew Smith, but loses the ball. Here comes Klay Thompson in a hurry. And he gets a fast break layup to bring the Mavericks within 2. Here comes Fontecchio. Gives it to Hawkins. To Drew Smith. To Bam. Back out to Hawkins. Hawkins drives it in, and he gets the basket. The Heat lead by 4. Here comes D'Angelo Russell, being guarded by Drew Smith. Lob is broken up by Miami, and it's last touched by Dallas, so it'll be Heat ball. Hawkins was dancing with the ball, finds the lane, and gets the basket. Here comes Keshad Johnson, gives it to Bam. Keshad Johnson drives into the lane. Met with resistance against Klay Thompson, but this end is going to be a jump ball. Klay Thompson putting the clamps on Keshad Johnson on that one. Miami wins that jump ball. Hawkins recovers the ball. Hawkins a 3. That's a miss. And that's going to be a 24-second violation on Miami. Here come the Mavericks. They give it to D'Angelo Russell. To Klay Thompson. That's a 3. Klay Thompson misses it. Rebound by Keshad Johnson. Here comes Hawkins. They give it to Fontecchio. Fontecchio loses the ball, and the Mavericks are on a fast break. D'Angelo Russell gets a layup, and the Mavericks are within 2. Hold on, looks like we may have looks like there may have been a foul in transition. Keshad Johnson was held. So that basket does not count. The Heat catch a break. Keshad Johnson a 3. Misses that basket. He could have made them pay. And here come the Mavericks. PJ Washington gets the basket. Alright. He gives it to D'Angelo Russell. That's a miss. And here comes Miami. Fontecchio brings it up to the floor to Drew Smith. Drew Smith missing that layup. He gets the rebound. And then misses the floater. comes D'Angelo Russell. That's a 3 from PJ Washington, and that one goes down to close the first quarter. Of course. Ugh. At the end of the first quarter, it's a low scoring lead for Miami, 20-19. I'll be back for the second quarter. And we are back to start the second quarter. The Heat lead 20-19. Very low scoring first quarter. Miami shooting 30% from the field. Dallas shooting 27-29% from the field, somewhere in that region. Dallas will have the ball. They give it to Brandon Williams. A season low for both teams. Miami with 20 points and Dallas with 19, as Daniel Gafford gets that dunk and will go for the and one opportunity. That foul was on Drew Smith, so Daniel Gafford will go to the line for the and one opportunity. Daniel Gafford knocks down the and one, and Dallas leads by 2. Drew Smith brings up the ball. Gives it to Kashad Johnson. To Simone Fontecchio. To Jaime Jaquez Jr. To Drew Smith. Miami likes to swing the ball around. And that's another stolen ball for Dallas as they get the layup in transition. The Mavericks lead by 4. Dallas so far with 7 turnovers, Miami with 6. Here comes the Heat now. Fontecchio, that's a 3. That's a miss. Here come the Mavericks again. They've been on a 14-2 run so far. And that's going to be an offensive foul on the Mavericks, so it will be Heat ball. That one was on Daniel Gafford. So that was a costly turnover for Miami, but they catch a lucky break. Jaquez gets the layup, and the Heat are now within 2. Here come the Mavericks. Brandon Williams brings it up to the floor. Brandon Williams drives it into the lane, and he gets the layup over Bam Adebayo. The Mavericks lead by 4. Here comes Bam. Gives it to Jaime Jaquez. To Keshad Johnson. To Fontecchio. To Bam. Here comes Bam. He misses the layup, but he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Bam Adebayo looking to drive into the lane, but gets fouled by Gafford. Thankfully, that foul stopped what could have been another Mavericks turnover. Another Mavericks possession. Bam knocks down the first. Daniel Gafford will take a seat, already with 2 fouls for the Mavericks. 3 fouls for the Mavericks, excuse me. And Bam knocks down the second. The Heat are within 2 now. Here comes Brandon Williams again. Here come the Mavericks. And they get the slam dunk. Not only do they get the slam dunk from PJ Washington, but they're going to the line for the and 1. That foul was on Keshad Johnson. Miami right now needs an offensive spark, but they got one that's already sitting on the bench waiting to return back onto the court. PJ Washington knocks down that and 1, and the Mavericks lead by 5. Bam Adebayo gets fouled, and he will return back to the line for 2 free throws. Bam makes the first. And he misses the second. Ball's knocked loose. Let's see who was last touched on. Oh, was last touched by the Heat. So it will be Mavericks ball. Jaime Jaquez was chasing that one down against Brandon Williams and PJ Washington, but couldn't get there in time. There goes another 3 for Dallas. No, but it's rebound by Miami. Here comes Fontecchio. That's a 3. And that's a miss. Another rebound for Dallas. Klay Thompson now has it. Being guarded by Bam. Klay Thompson. And that's going to be 3 in the key on Dallas. Yeah. 3-second violation on Dallas. So Miami will have the ball right back in their possession again. Drew Smith now bringing it up to the floor. Gives it to Jaquez. They find Fontecchio for the corner 3. And Fontecchio will go to the line for 3 free throws. If I said it once, I'll say it again. You don't foul a shooter when they're going for the 3. That foul is on number 30 for the Mavericks. Fontecchio knocks down the first, and that brings the Heat within 3. Fontecchio makes a second. And former Heat player Caleb Martin ends the game for Dallas. Of course, Caleb Martin, he was part of those Jimmy Butler-led Miami Heat teams that went all the way to the finals, and of course, those deep playoff runs in between. Fontecchio knocks down the third free throw, and that brings the Heat within 1. All right, here come the Mavericks. Klay Thompson, that's a 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Dallas. And that's another miss for Dallas. Here comes Hawkes. Hawkes gives it to Bam. Bam with the fadeaway. And he knocked it down to give the Heat the lead. And the Mavericks will call timeout. The Heat lead 30-29. The Heat are starting to find their offensive rhythm, but they're going to need more of it when we come back. And we are back. Score is 30-29 Miami. Right now, Jaime Hawkins Jr., he's been doing it all for Miami, providing that offensive spark, doing it all with not just points, but also assists and rebounds. Loving the production that I'm seeing from him this season. If all goes well, he might have a subtle all-star nod. The Heat lead 30-29 in this one. Dallas will have control of the ball. Here comes Caleb Martin. Gives it to Brandon Williams. Williams guarded by Hawkes. Ball is knocked loose, and here comes Miami. Rashad Johnson now has it. Drives into the lane. Woo! Rashad Johnson took off like trying on that dunk as the Heat lead by 3. And just like that, the Mavericks tied up with that corner three. Took away all joy from Heat fans. And that's a three from Drew Smith. That's a miss. Rebound by Fontecchio. Ball is knocked loose. That one will be on Dallas. It will remain Heat ball. I love how Keshad Johnson went from coast to coast, carefully controlling the ball and took off like a 747 Boeing jet. That was a fantastic play. Gotta love the improvement Keshad Johnson is showing right now. All right, Miami has it side out. They give it to Jaquez. Here comes Jaquez now. Gives it to Fontecchio. And he misses that reverse layup. Here comes Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin driving into the lane. Gives it to Max Christie. Christie a three. And that's a miss. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Fontecchio. Fontecchio finds Keshad Johnson. Out to Jaquez. Out to Bam. Here comes Bam. And he will go to the line for 2 free throws. That foul is on D'Angelo Russell. And Tyler Hero is back in the game for Miami. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Hero. Hero missing that basket. Rebound by Dallas. Here comes D'Angelo Russell. Russell with the step back three. He misses it. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Gives it to Pelle Larsson. Larsson missing that basket. Here comes Dallas now. Cooper Flag. Driving to the lane. Gives it to Max Christie for a three. And that's another miss. Here comes Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero being guarded by Cooper Flag. Gives it to Davion Mitchell. Out got the Hero. Hero almost loses the ball. Gives it back to Davion Mitchell. Davion driving into the lane. Misses that one. And the Dallas Mavericks get the rebound. Here comes Max Christie. Driving into the lane. Gets his shot blocked. And here comes the Heat. They got numbers. Kel'el Ware for the three. And Kel'el Superboy Ware gives the Heat the lead. Kel'el Ware with 10 points, going 66% from three-point land. Nice dish assist from Pelle Larsson for that basket. And the Heat are on an 11-3 run right now. And another steal for Miami. Here comes Tyler Hero. Gives it to Pelle Larsson. Kel'el Ware has it. And he gets the basket. Plus, it will go to the line for the and one. Kel'el Ware is feeling it right now. 12 points, 4 for 6 shooting from the field. Kel'el Ware is putting up some monstrous numbers. That's another guy I think is going to have an all-star nod in his future. Kel'el Ware with 12 points, 5 rebounds. And with that and one opportunity, he gets 13 points added to his tally. The Heat lead by 6. Here comes Max Christie now. Gives it to Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag's directing traffic now for Dallas. That's a three. And that's a miss. Rebound by Kellel Ware. Here comes Tyler Hero. Driving into the lane. And he gets the basket. Let's go, Tyler Hero. And the Mavericks call timeout. Excuse me. Got a little bit excited over there. Tyler Hero getting his first points in his season debut for Miami. The Heat lead 40-32. Welcome back, boy wonder Tyler Hero. And we are back. Score is 40-32 Miami. Tyler Hero inserting himself into this one, getting his first buckets of the season. And I hope to see more of those kind of buckets from Tyler Hero. All right, Dallas has the ball. They give it to Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg gets his shot blocked. Ball's knocked loose, but it will be Dallas ball still. So far, the Mavericks had 11 field goals and 11 turnovers. Not a good sign for this Mavericks team. And the Mavericks will come away with the and one opportunity. Najee Marshall will go to the line for the and one. Najee Marshall misses that and one. Rebound by Cooper Flagg. Here comes Najee Marshall. And he gets the basket. And the Mavericks trail by 4. Alright, here comes Jaquez. They give it to Hero. Pelle Larsson for 3. And that's a miss. Rebound by Max Christie. And here come the Mavericks. Max Christie being guarded by Hero. And he gets the layup. And the Mavericks are within 2. All right, here comes Davion Mitchell, being guarded by Cooper Flagg. Davion Mitchell kicks it out to Hero. Hero being guarded by Christie. And Tyler Hero knocks it down. The Heat lead by 4. Here comes D'Angelo Russell now, being guarded by Tyler Hero. They give it to Max Christie. D'Angelo Russell sets the screen. Here comes Max Christie though. Rebound by Kel'el Ware and recovered by Tyler Hero. Hero going coast to coast. And he gets the layup under the rest. And that's going to be another and-1 opportunity for Miami. Tyler Hero now with 6 points off 3 for 7 shooting from the field. Right, Palo Larson goes to the line for Miami. He misses that and-1 opportunity. The Heat lead by 6. And here comes Brandon Williams. They give it to PJ Washington. And PJ Washington knocks down that basket. And the Mavericks trail by 4. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. comes up with that hook, and the Heat lead by 6. Jaquez now with 8 points off 80% shooting from the field. Miami so far have dominated in the paint with only 28 points to Dallas' 22. And here come the Heat again. Bella Larson flies in for the layup, and that brings the Heat up by 8. All right, here come the Mavericks again. Brandon Williams kicks it out to Cooper Flag. That's a 3. And that's another miss. Rebound by Brandon Williams. Gives it to PJ Washington. Out to Najee Marshall. Corner 3. And he knocks it down. And the Mavericks trail by 5. Najee Marshall with 7 points. Going 50% from the 3-point land. And here comes Jaquez. Gives it to Kel'el Ware. And with a nasty dunk. Uncontested and unbothered. The Heat lead by 7. Here comes Cooper Flag. They give it to... And that's a missed 3 for Dallas. But they recover it. PJ Washington misses that 3. Here comes PJ Washington again. And he misses that 3. He misses that layup. Cooper Flag now has it. Out to Brandon Williams for 3. Another miss. The Mavericks continue to miss shot after shot after shot. Kel'el Ware already flirting with a double-double with 15 points and 9 rebounds. And there's another basket from Tyler Hero. And the Heat lead by 9. This Mavericks squad is getting worked right now. All right, and here come the Mavericks. Brandon Williams brings it up to the floor. Brandon Williams tries to get one over Kel'el Ware, but he gets his shot blocked. Here comes Jaquez. Kicks it out to Kel'el Ware for the open 3. And that's a miss. And here comes Brandon Williams now. Brandon Williams gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, Brandon Williams makes the first. Bam Adebayo and Simone Fontecchio will come in the game for Miami. Kel'el Ware, Pella Larson will both take a seat. And Brandon Williams misses the second. Here comes Jaquez. Gives it to Davion Mitchell. Here comes Davion Mitchell. To Fontecchio. Out to Jaquez. Jaquez being guarded. Gives it to Fontecchio for three. And that's a no-go. Here comes Najee Marshall now. Kicks it out to Brandon Williams for three. And that will be the end of the first half. What a magnificent turnaround for the Miami Heat in the second quarter. Keshad Johnson took off like Soul Train with that dunk. And Kel'el Ware, he was dominant. But the highlight of the night has to be the return of Tyler Hero. Already with 8 points in the second quarter. The Heat lead 52-44. And so far, the Miami Heat is starting to pick up that intensity that they've had for the last couple of games. Which they showed it in the first quarter and try to get some baskets for Tyler Hero to get himself inserted into the pace and flow of this one. But now that Tyler Hero has inserted himself for the second quarter, I expect to see more of it for the second half. This Dallas Mavericks team, they're struggling right now, even with Cooper Flagg missing some baskets. And I think their leading scorer are either Brandon Williams or Klay Thompson. But right now, this Mavericks squad does not look good. No, none whatsoever. I expect the Heat to keep the intensity on both ends of the floor and continue to utilize that pace while also getting touches for Tyler Hero. So it's halftime, and I'll be back for the third quarter. And we are back from halftime. Score is 52-44 Miami. The Heat starting to pick up that offensive surge like they've always had for the past couple games. And the Mavericks, even though they had to lead from time to time, they are now struggling with their offense. So let's see what happens as we start the third quarter in a few seconds. Tyler Hero, he has returned back to the Heat, and he has been the highlight of this game so far with 8 points added to his total. And among the highlights, Keshad Johnson taking off like Soul Train has been going coast to coast for that dunk. And of course, the Heat have been stellar on offense. So let's see if they can keep up that aggressiveness for much of the game. While on the tail end, Cooper Flag, I know I talked highly about him earlier, but right now he had 2 points and 2 rebounds and going 20% from the field. A very tepid 20% from the field. So that's not a promising start for a potential Rookie of the Year candidate in Cooper Flag. So right now, both teams are getting themselves ready for the start of the third quarter. Dallas should receive the ball. I mean, it's been a struggle for Cooper Flag. So, not just for this game, but so far this season. But hopefully he can turn it all around before the end of the season. I mean, Cooper Flag had his moments against other teams, but in his debut against the Miami Heat in the Kaseya Center, not so much. Looks like we may have some technical delays for the Heat and Mavs game. I'm not sure what's going on. May have something to do with the goalposts right now. Not sure what's going on, but the Heat players are still warming up. Hopefully we'll have some resolve so we can start the third quarter. So I'll be back for a second, and hopefully when the third quarter begins, I'll give you guys the play-by-play. Okay, judging from the looks of things right now, I think there may have been an issue with the goalpost and trying to straighten it out before the start of the third quarter. So once we get that situated, then we will begin the third quarter. Or I think the third quarter is about to start already. I think they may have solved that situation. But like I said, once everything gets started, I'll be back with the play-by-play. Okay, we're ready to begin the third quarter. Dallas has the ball. And that's going to be a foul on Davion Mitchell. Slightly pushing Brandon Williams out of bounds. And here comes the Mavericks. Brandon Williams has it. He is swinging the ball around. Drives to the lane. Misses that layup. Rebound by Pella Larson, and here comes Miami. Davion Mitchell has the ball. Gives it to Larson. Back out to Davion Mitchell. Back out to Larson for three. And that's a miss. Rebound by... Nope, it's recovered by Miami. And bam, with the slam and the jam. And the Heat go up by 10. Bam Adebayo now with 8 points. Off 40% shooting from the field. And here comes Cooper Flagg. And he gets the layup. It's been a rough game for Cooper Flagg. He has 4 points so far in this one. Here comes Tyler Hero with a step back. And he knocks it down. And the Heat remain up at 10. Tyler Hero with 10 points. Here comes Brandon Williams. Gives it to Max Christie. Here comes Brandon Williams. Gives it to Damian Gafford. Back out to Williams. To Max Christie for the three. And Max Christie knocks it down for three. The Mavericks trail by 7. Of course, Max Christie, he is the son of former Sacramento Kings guard Doug Christie. Max Christie, of course, he also played for the Los Angeles Lakers. As Bam Adebayo knocks down that one. The Heat lead by 9 in this one. And Max Christie again with the three-pointer. Sorry, that's PJ Washington with the three. The Mavericks trail by 6 in this one. So far, we're seeing better shooting from both teams. Pella Larson missing that basket, but the rebound's recovered by Miami. Here comes Davion Mitchell. Out to Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero driving it in, and he gets the layup. The Heat lead by 8. Tyler Hero now with 12 points off 60% shooting from the field. And here comes Max Christie. Gives it to Brandon Williams. Max Christie, another three. And he knocks it down. Max Christie is feeling it right now. He's got 8 points off 50% shooting from three-point land. The Mavericks trail by 5. Here comes Bam. Out to Pella Larson for 3. And Pella Larson knocks it down. The Heat lead by 8. Pella Larson with 7 points in this one, while 33% shooting from three-point land. Here comes Max Christie, being guarded by Hero. And Max Christie will go to the line for 2 free throws. Max Christie now at the line for the Mavericks. He makes the first. And he makes both free throws. So the Mavericks trail by 6. Here comes Davion Mitchell, drives in, and he gets the layup. And the Heat lead by 8. Davion Mitchell with 6 points off 50% shooting from the field. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Miami. And here comes Max Christie. Gives it to Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag missing that basket. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. And that's stolen away by Brandon Williams. And the Mavericks got numbers on the fast break. And that was blocked. Brandon Williams wanted a goaltend, but Cooper Flag gets the dunk. The Mavericks trail by 6. Cooper Flag now with 6 points and 3 rebounds. Here comes Tyler Hero. Drives it into the lane. And he gets the hook. And the Heat lead by 8. Tyler Hero now with 14 points off 7-11 shooting from the field. Here comes PJ Washington for 3. That's the miss. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. They give it to Pella Larson. Out to Hero. To Davion Mitchell. They give it to Bam. Bam being guarded by Cooper Flag. And Bam gets his shot blocked. Here come the Mavericks. PJ Washington driving it in. And he will go to the line for 2 free throws. PJ Washington so far has 13 points and 5 rebounds in this game, shooting 50% from the field. PJ Washington makes the first. And PJ Washington makes both free throws. The Mavericks trail by 6 in this one. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Miami, so it will be Mavericks ball. And we're going to have ourselves a timeout. The Heat lead 67-61. The Heat may have the lead, but the Mavericks are starting to make another comeback. And we are back. The Heat have the lead, but right now the Mavericks are making a little run of their own. Here goes Cooper Flag. He misses that basket. And here come the Heat. Bam down the bottle, bringing it up to the floor. Gives it to Tyler Hero. And here comes Pelle Larsson. Out to Kel'el Ware. That's a three. And Kel'el Super Bowl Ware. 3 for Miami. Kel'el Ware now with 18 points, shooting 60% from the three-point land. Ball's knocked loose, and it will stay with Dallas. Yes. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. The Heat lead 72-63. Najee Marshall coming up with that foul. Jaime Jaquez goes to the line for Miami. Jaime Jaquez Jr. knocks down the first. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. knocks down both free throws. Alright, here come the Mavericks. They give it to Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag driving into the lane. Loses the ball, and it will go right back to the Heat. Right, here comes Tyler Hero. Driving into the lane. And Tyler Hero knocks down the hook. The Heat lead by 13 in this one. Tyler Hero so far has gone 9 for 9 after those missed 4 shots, and that's a nice block from Kel'el Ware. Kel'el Ware showing some flashes of improvement on defense, and he's definitely showing why he can be not only most improved, but also a potential all-star. And speaking of potential all-star, that was Jaime Jaquez Jr. coming up with that rebound. Jaquez passes it out to Tyler Hero. Back out to Jaquez. Jaquez with the fadeaway. Misses that one. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. And that one's going to be out of bounds on Miami. So it will be Mavericks ball. Kel'el Ware looking for the challenge. I mean, that was a nice block from Kel'el Ware. He soared for that one. That was a nice rejection. Unfortunately, Kel'el Ware will not get the challenge, but he does have a double-double of 18 points, 13 rebounds with 3 blocks added. All right, here come the Mavericks. That's a corner 3. That's a miss for Dallas. Rebound by Daniel Gafford. And that's a block by Kyle Ware. PJ Washington, another block by Miami. And so far, Miami's been active on defense as well as offense. They have been swarming the Mavericks on both ends of the floor. Alright, Dallas will have a side out. They give it to Najee Marshall. That's a three. And that's a miss. Rebound by Ami Hawkins Jr. Give it to Pelle Larsson. And Pelle Larsson comes up with that miss. And here comes the Mavericks. And there's Klay Thompson missing that reverse layup, but he wants a challenge on that play. Well, that was a goaltend, excuse me. That was a goaltend on Kyle Ware. So that will be 2 points awarded to the Dallas Mavericks. And here comes the Heat now. Alright, they're swinging the ball around. They give it to Hawkins. Hawkins flies in, but it gets a shot blocked by Galford. Rebound by Kyle Ware. No time left, but stolen away by Dallas. That's going to be a foul on Drew Smith. So that will send Najee Marshall to the line for 2 free throws. And it looks like we're going to have ourselves a challenge. Miami's calling for a challenge. The Heat leads 76-65. So we are going to have we're going to have a coach's challenge, and we'll be back with the official review. And we are back. The score is 76-65. Miami had called for a challenge. So let's see what the officials have to say. From this vantage point, it looks like Drew Smith had all ball, but at the same time, he may have whacked Najee Marshall. So let's see after this challenge was called. Alright, so it will be Heat ball. Drew Smith bringing it up to the floor. Alright, Drew Smith kicks it out to Fontecchio. Here comes Fontecchio with a layup, and he gets it. Score is 78-65 Miami. And here come the Mavericks. They give it to Klay Thompson for 3. And that's a miss. Rebound by Kelly Ware. And here comes Drew Smith. Gives it to Fontecchio. Fontecchio out to Hawkins. Gives it to Kelly Ware. Misses that basket. And here comes. That's a miss from the Mavericks. And rebound by Miami. They're gonna Heat. They got numbers. That's 3. And that's an air ball from Drew Smith. The Heat lead by 13 in this one. And that's a nice layup for Dallas. They trail by 11. Daniel Gafford with 7 points in this one. And here come the Mavericks. They got numbers. And that's an alley-oop to PJ Washington. And the Mavericks trail by 9. PJ Washington now with 17 points in this one. That's a corner 3. And that's a miss. Rebound by Bam. Bam with the basket, and he knocks it down. And the Heat lead by 11. Here comes PJ Washington. Gives the ball back. And that's gonna be an offensive foul on Dallas. This one's on PJ Washington. Andrew Nembhard giving the ball to PJ Washington, who committed that offensive foul. Here goes Hawkins. Missing that layup. And here come the Mavericks. PJ Washington gets the basket and will go for the and-1. And PJ Washington knocks down the and-1. The Heat lead by 8 in this one. Hawkins now passes it out to Drew Smith. Drew Smith being guarded by Andrew Nembhard. Out to Hawkins. To Bam. Bam with a turnaround jumper. Misses it. Rebound by Klay Thompson. Almost got the ball thrown away. Knocked loose by Miami, but it will be Dallas ball. And that will end the third quarter. The Heat have been on a roll so far, despite the Dallas Mavericks trying to make multiple comebacks. The Heat lead 80-72. And we'll be back for the fourth quarter. All right, and we're back for the fourth quarter. Here comes Drew Smith, missing that three. Dallas comes up with that rebound. Andrew Nembhard bringing it up to the floor. Guarded by Hawkaz. That's a three from Klay Thompson. That rims out. Here comes Bam Adebayo. Bam, finding Fontecchio. Corner three, Kashad Johnson. And KJ Johnson knocks down that three. The Heat go up by 11. Kashad Johnson in this one had with 7 points in this game, including that emphatic dunk he had. As Andrew Nembhard. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Fontecchio. Gives it to Drew Smith. Bam, corner three. And that's a miss. And here comes Andrew Nembhard again. Gives it to Max Christie. Back out to Nembhard. Out to PJ Washington. Back out to Nembhard. Rebound by Fontecchio. And here come the Heat. Miami so far shooting 44% from the field. Dallas only 34%. And that's a corner three. And that's a miss from Fontecchio. He's had an off night so far, despite those layups he's had. Here comes Klay Thompson. Out to Gafford. Back to Klay Thompson. Kicks it out to Nembhard. Back out to Gafford. And Gafford gets the layup. And the Mavericks are down by 9. Daniel Gafford with 9 points in this one, with 3 for 7 shooting from the field. Ooh. Drew Smith got hurt. And PJ Washington comes up big with that lob. And yet, oh my goodness. Drew Smith may be hurt for real. He's clutching those knees. That should have been a foul on the Mavericks. I'm sorry. That should have been a foul on the Mavericks. And Drew Smith appears to be walking very gingerly. The last thing the Heat needs is another injury. So we see that play again. Now that was all body by PJ Washington. Just injuring Drew Smith on that one. But the Heat will call timeout. And they lead 83-76. And we are back. Score is 83-76 Miami. And I think that's going to be an offensive foul on the Heat. Simone Fontecchio getting a little too aggressive against Cooper Flag. Oh, did he ever wanted that poster jam, but he couldn't finish it. Alright, so Andrew Nembhard has the ball. Alright, Klay Thompson, that's a three. And he knocks down that corner scrumper. The Mavericks trail by 4. Here comes Bam. And he gets the basket. The Heat lead by 6. Bam Adebayo now with 14 points, going 5 for 11 from the field. Here comes Cooper Flag. Kicks it out to Klay Thompson. And that's another 3. And the Mavericks. And I think that's going to be a technical foul on Klay Thompson for that taunt. So after making that 3 from the wing, he made a pointing taunt at the Heat bench. Bam Adebayo making that technical free throw. So that will give the Heat an extra cushion. Bam Adebayo so far going 5 for 9 from free throw land. Davion Mitchell bringing it up to the floor. Gives it to Hawkes. Hawkes driving into the lane, and he gets the layup. The Heat lead by 6. Jaime Hawkes now with 12 points in this one. Here comes Andrew Nembhard. Gives it to Cooper Flag. And Cooper Flag gets the basket under duress. He has 8 points, shooting 40% from the field. That one was last touched by the Mavericks, so it'll be Heat ball. Here comes Hawkes. Hawkes gives it to Fontecchio. And Fontecchio gets the basket and will go for the and-1. Fontecchio was looking to put Dwight Powell on a poster. Simone Fontecchio going to the line. He has 7 points, shooting 20% from the field. Fontecchio knocks down the and-1. That's another 3 for Dallas, and they missed. Miami almost came away with a steal. That's a 3 from Klay Thompson. And that's a rebound for Simone Fontecchio. Here come the Heat now. Davion Mitchell kicks it out to Bam. Corner 3 on the way. That's a miss. Here come the Mavericks. They're on a fast break. They got numbers. Max Christie gets the dunk. And the Mavericks trail by 5. Max Christie right now with 12 points for 50% shooting from the field. And Miami comes up with that miss. And that's a 3 on the way. And the Mavericks now are within 2 thanks to that Max Christie 3. The Heat call timeout, and they lead 91-89. Miami needs some offensive spark as well as some defensive tenacity right now. All right, and we're back for our fourth quarter follow-up. Tyler Hero coming back to the Heat, scoring 18 points off 9 for 13 shooting. The Heat have cooled off Cooper Flag with 8 points off 40% shooting. And Kel'el Ware, he's been on fire so far with 18 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Kel'el Ware continues to improve and he continues to show up and show out. So right now the Heat really needs some added firepower on both ends of the floor. And there's Tyler Hero. Hero missing that basket, but Kel'el Ware missing that rebound and putback. Alright, here come the Mavericks. They're looking to retake the lead. And Cooper Flag missing that alley-oop from Andrew Nembhard. Here come the Heat. They give it to Hawkes. Hawkes missing that layup. And that's going to be a foul on the Mavericks. And that will send Kel'el Ware to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, so that was Tyler Hero hitting that basket. So Tyler Hero now has 20 points off 10 for 15 shooting from the field. And that's Andrew Nembhard with that layup. And the Mavericks are within 2. Alright, here come the Heat. They give it to Hawkes. Out to Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell drives it in. And he gets the layup. And that's going to prompt a Dallas Mavericks timeout. The Heat lead 95-91. So far it's a close game, but anything can happen right now. And we are back. Score is 95-91 Miami. The Heat have a 4-point lead, but I don't know how long they can hold on for it. Here comes Andrew Nembhard, being guarded by Davion Mitchell. Kicks it out to Klay Thompson, not Klay Thompson. PJ Washington Jr. knocking down that three, and we have ourselves a one-possession game. PJ Washington leading the way with 25 points off 50% shooting from three-point land, and that's going to be a foul on Dallas. That will send Jaime Jaquez Jr. to the line. Jaime Jaquez Jr. at the line. He has 12 points and 5 rebounds in this game. And that's a miss. Jaquez misses the first. And Jaquez makes the second. So it's now a 2-point game. Andrew Nembhard brings it up to the floor, being guarded by Davion Mitchell. That's a fadeaway. That's a miss. Daniel Gafford with the rebound and with the mighty putback. And we're all tied up at 96. Daniel Gafford with a double-double of 11 points and 10 rebounds. Here goes Tyler Hero. And he gets the bank shot. And the Heat retake the lead. Tyler Hero with 22 points, going 11 for 16 from the field. And PJ Washington missing that layup. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. Here comes Jaquez. Could we see a 20-20 game for Kel'el Ware? As Pelle Larsson gets that layup as the Heat lead by 4. Pelle Larsson now with 9 points, shooting 40% from the field. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. But the Heat are looking for a challenge. So there will be no challenge. It will be Dallas ball still. Andrew Nembhard being guarded by Kel'el Ware. Nembhard with the fadeaway. He misses that basket. Rebound by Gafford. Cooper Flagg for 3. He misses it. Rebound by Kel'el Ware. That's his 19th rebound in the game. And here comes Tyler Hero. To Jaquez. Hawkins missing that layup. Rebound by Cooper Flagg. And that's going to lead to a Dallas Mavericks timeout. So the Heat lead 100-96. This looks like it's going to be a quick timeout. So we'll be back quickly. We'll be back quickly, so the action will resume. And we are back. Score is 100-96, Miami. Here comes Andrew Nemhard. Gives it a Cooper Flag. Flag takes it into his own hands, and he gets the layup. And we now have ourselves a 2-point game again. Cooper Flag with 10 points, and he comes up with a steal, but it's out of bounds. Cooper Flag with 10 points, going 5 for 14 from the field. I like that Cooper Flag took matters into his own hands. Could have done a lot more throughout the game, but just saying. Here comes Xavier Mitchell and Kalel Superboy Ware. That's his 20th basket, going 7 for 14 from the field. Now let's see if he can get his 20th rebound. Kalel Ware looking for a 20-20 game. Daniel Gafford now has the ball. Rebound by PJ Washington, and that's now a 2-point game. PJ Washington been aggressive so far with 27 points and 8 rebounds. Here comes Tyler Hero with a turnaround jumper, blocked by Max Christie, excuse me. Cooper Flag now has it. Gives it to Max Christie, and he stepped out of bounds, so it'll be Heat ball. Dallas right now with 14 turnovers to Miami's 12. I'm sorry, we're having some technical difficulties on my end. Alright, we're back. That's going to be a traveling violation on Miami, so we'll go right back to Dallas. Davion Mitchell took one too many steps. Here comes Andrew Nemhard. Gives it to... And that's a 20th rebound for Kalel Ware. But I think that's going to be a foul on Miami. Cooper Flag going right past Pella Larson and right into Kalel Ware going for that layup, but Kalel Ware drew the foul before he got his 20th rebound. Cooper Flag going to the line. He makes the first. It's now a 1-point game. Jaime Jaquez Jr. coming back into the game for Miami. And Cooper Flag makes both free throws. So we're all tied at 102. This is edge of your seat time right now. Here comes Tyler Hero. Gives it to Bam. Here comes Bam with a fadeaway. Misses the basket. Rebound by Dallas. And that's going to call for another timeout for the Mavericks. We're all tied up at 102. And we are back. Score is tied at 102. The Mavericks are starting to have made another comeback again, but they're trying to make things a lot more difficult for the Heat. I mean, Miami should have had this one out of reach. Miami should have had this one out of reach for a long time now, but they've allowed the Mavericks to come back into this one. So Dallas will have it side out. PJ Washington, and it's stolen away by Miami. Here comes Pele Larson. Gives it to Tyler Hero. And Tyler Hero gives the Miami Heat the lead. Tyler Hero coming up in the clutch, and that will call for another timeout for the Mavericks. Score is 104-102 Miami. Nice heads of steel by Bam. Larson having the wherewithal to find Tyler Hero, who then drives it all the way in for the go-ahead bucket. That was a nice clutch play for the Heat. Very clutch play. That was a beautiful clutch play for Miami. Let's hope they can capitalize on it. Alright, we're back. Score is 104-102. Miami has a lead, but it's edge of your seat time. It is crunch time. So far, we've had 6 lead changes and 5 ties. Andrew Nemmer has the ball for Dallas. They give it to Cooper Flag. Out to Klay Thompson. That's a corner 3. It's a miss for Dallas, and it's a rebound for Miami. Here comes Bam Adebayo, and he gets fouled by Klay Thompson. So that will send Bam to the line for 2 free throws. Looks like we got ourselves a timeout for Miami. Dallas has no timeouts left. Not sure why they would call timeout so early in the game. Not sure why they would call. I'm not sure why they would waste all their timeouts. But that's Coach Jason Kidd for you. Right, so we'll be back for after this quick timeout. And we are back. Score is 104-102 Miami. Hawkins inbounds the ball. And the Mavericks come away with the basket. The Mavericks come away with the ball. Caleb Martin now has it. Gives it to Cooper Flag. That's a three from PJ Washington. That's a miss. Rebound by Bam. And this one could seal it for the Heat. Nice defensive sequence from Miami. It looked like all was lost once Dallas recovered the ball. But Caleb Martin, he wasted way too much time. And PJ Washington came up with that horrible miss for the Mavericks. So right now the game is in the hands of Bam Adebayo. Bam makes the first, and we have a 3-point game. And that will do it. Bam Adebayo makes both free throws, and this one is on ice. Here comes Klay Thompson. And this one is over. The Heat win it 106-102. What a big win for the Miami Heat. A close yet edge of your seat, nail-biting win for the Miami Heat on their home floor. Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo came up big tonight in this one, but you also gotta commend the Heat for their team effort. From Jaime Jaquez Jr., Pelle Larsson, Kelly Ware, even Kashad Johnson showed me something. If you still don't think this Heat team is for real, if you still don't think that this Heat team is legit, then you are not enjoying basketball right now. And you don't know what real basketball is right now. The Miami Heat are playing some of the best basketball right now, outside of teams like Oklahoma City and Detroit. This team is not only fun to watch, but they are highly competitive and they are must-see. This Heat team right now, they continue to just blow me away. They continue to just meet expectations and go beyond them. And even though the Mavericks in this game against the Dallas Mavericks, they let them come back right into this one, at least they had some key stops and key baskets to put them away. And even though there were very little runs here and there, it made up for it with Tyler Hero being front and center. I mean, even though Tyler Hero didn't have a good first quarter when he started out, it was the rest of the game that mattered. And Tyler Hero made some clutch baskets as well. So overall, the Heat really dominated in this one. Even when it came down to the very close seconds, we almost thought it was going to be over. Had PJ Washington almost made that three-pointer. But that's neither here nor there. So right now, the Heat have won 5 consecutive games, and they continue to be one of the hottest teams in the league right now. But not only that, you got to commend the Heat for keeping Cooper Flag down. They pretty much prevented him from having like a 30-point, 40-point game. So that's also commendable for the Heat. So looking at the box score right now, Bam Adebayo has 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist. Kelly Ware, he almost had a 20-20 game with 20 points, looking for 20 points and 20 rebounds, but he has a double-double of 20 points and 18 rebounds. Javi Jaquez Jr. came off the bench with 13 points and 7 rebounds. Simone Fontecchio with 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Kashad Johnson exploded with 7 points and 3 rebounds. And the man of the hour, the boy wonder, the baby goat, Tyler Hero with 24 points and 7 rebounds. As for the Dallas Mavericks, PJ Washington led the way with 27 points and 8 rebounds and 1 assist. Max Christie had 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Brandon Williams with 12 points and 5 assists. Klay Thompson came off the bench with 13 points, and Daniel Gafford had a double-double of 11 points and 11 rebounds. So yet another impressive win for the Miami Heat, who continue their winning ways. And they will need to continue those winning ways as their next opponent is a familiar rival and foe, which is the Milwaukee Bucks. But this game has some very high implications because this game will be played as part of the Emirates NBA Cup. Both the Bucks and the Heat are in East Group C, along with the Charlotte Hornets, the New York Knicks, and the Chicago Bulls. So, a win for the Heat, as well as a loss for the Orlando Magic, meaning that the Heat can control their destiny as either winners of Group C, of East Group C, or they can make it in to the Final 8 as a wild card team, based off of point differentials. So again, a very big matchup between the Bucks and the Heat. That game is on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. and you can watch that on FanDuel Sports Network Sun and NBA League Pass. Again, Bucks versus Heat as part of the Emirates NBA Cup. East Group C championship East Group C implications are on the line right now. And that one should be a high octane classic. That game starts on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. and you can watch that on FanDuel Sports Network Sun and on NBA League Pass. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in for this edition of Heat Zone Live. This one was a nail biter. I thought it was going to go to the way of the Mavericks, but thankfully the Heat came up big on that defensive stop. I want to thank each and every one of you who tuned in, commented, and was around to hear the play-by-play. I appreciate it. I thank you guys. I love you guys. And I hope to continue doing more of this throughout the NBA season. So, with that said, love one another, take care of each other, look out for one another, and be kind to each other, because you never know when that day comes. I'm Deron Butler, reminding you to always run through the paint. Take care. God bless. I love each and every one of you guys. And as always, go Heat. See you guys on Wednesday as part of the Emirates NBA Cup between the Heat and the Bucks.